Once upon a time, sports cars were low, light, lean, fast, and powerful, but not anymore. Over the last 20 years or so, we have learned to love crossovers, and crossovers have learned to love us. They've gotten faster, they've gotten more powerful, and they've gotten to be the new family truckster and sports car. But Paul here says I am wrong. He says that sports cars are still the king when it comes to going around a track. So he's brought, well, Paul, what have you brought here to prove to me that I'm wrong?
Well, this is the modern example of the old quintessential British sports car. Even got the color. And this is, of course, a Toyota 86. And so I think if we're going to look at whether an SUV or a crossover can be a sports car, let's start with a simple sports car and see what the answer is.
All right, so we're going to take the big old BMW around the track, and then you're going to take this around the track and try to best its time. Let's get at it.
Body roll and a lot of understeer.
523 horsepower, 553 pound-foot of torque. That's crazy for a family hauler that can take you and your kids to church and do it very quickly, because this power plant is a 4.4 liter twin turbo V8. Now with all that power comes a lot of weight, 5,700 pounds.
ABS, pretty strong, and then the belt tightening on me.
That is the most powerful, the most expensive family hauling BMW you can get. BMW doesn't yet make an X7M, so that's the one.
Well, a little bit of porpoising there. Feel it bouncing the front wheel up off the ground.
And when I was a kid, sports cars were fast, but because of technology and because of you guys out there buying nothing but crossovers, today we've got a situation where these crossovers are as fast, if not faster, than sports cars. Well, there we have it. We have set our new track time of 1 minute and 11 seconds, 0.07.
It didn't like that very much. It especially didn't like the transition onto the banking. It kind of jumped up on two wheels for a second, and it completely shut the power off for quite a bit. So that didn't help it getting onto the straightaway here to cross the start-finish line.
So how was that, Paul?
A bucking Bronco.
Really?
Yeah.
It sounded phenomenal.
Yeah, the engine's strong.
Yeah.
Transmission shifts a little bit slowly.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
Okay.
Tons and tons of body roll. So even with the damper set on sport and all that stuff, it's just, I mean, you feel that 5,700 pounds.
Now looking at the wheel, tire, and brake package, I look like I got shrunk or something, because this thing's got these monstrous wheels, and they're 22-inch rims, if you're wondering, and a staggered setup here with a 275 on the front and a huge 315 on the back.
Here's your time, 1:11:07.
All right.
That's the time you got to beat with the 86.
Oh my goodness.
You think you can do it?
I think I shouldn't have used the throttle so much on this thing. That 86 is going to be struggling.
All right, let's get you in that car and let's see if this is indeed the new sports car. Under the hood, of course, is a Subaru-sourced boxer engine. That means that the pistons go like this. It puts out 205 horsepower and 156 pound-foot of torque, and all that non-torque is mated to a 6-speed manual transmission. Now, this car costs $30,000 and weighs about 2,800 pounds, making it light, lively, but not very powerful.
So we've got the Toyota 86 here, and this car is pretty familiar to most folks these days. It sort of is the quintessential modern version of a simple sports car. And to that end, you see much smaller wheels, tires, and brakes than we're normally used to. But you gotta remember, this car only weighs about 2,800 pounds, which is pretty light. So with that, we only have 17-inch wheels. Then Michelin tires, they're Michelin Primacies, which are not particularly grippy track-type tires. And that's kind of the intention of this car, with only a couple hundred horsepower and even less torque. You know, this car is supposed to be fun to drive. It isn't really designed to be as grippy and as high-powered as possible. The honor of all sports cars.
Not a lot of horsepower, not a lot of grip.
We're on a full-out race course here where horsepower and torque pay dividends. I'm afraid that this track might have a slight advantage for the BMW, but hey, crossovers are the new sports cars.
Sliding around at 90 miles an hour. It's a good little car.
Not 3 or 4 seconds, but actually 5 seconds slower. 1:16.
I don't know how fast it was, but that was so much more fun than driving the X7 around the track. I mean, this thing's proper, well balanced, really cool, really cool. Nice manual transmission, of course. It was so good around the track, it had to be faster, Roman.
Here's the number.
No!
Yeah.
I am defeated.
5 seconds faster in the BMW. 5 seconds, dude. So tell me about this.
Incredibly well balanced,
Yeah.
super fun. I had to slide in 4th gear the whole way through that first turn at 90 miles an hour. It's just doing this nice little 4-wheel drift.
Well, guys, there you have it. I think I've made my point in the battle between the sports car and the SUV. No, it's a BMW sports activity vehicle. I've made my point because you've got a car that went 1:16 to a car that went 1:11. But what has Paul got here? Paul, what the heck? Paul, what the heck did you bring?
Not so fast, Roman. I feel like I brought a knife to a gunfight.
Yeah.
So I figured I should go and get myself a proper gun, and so here we go. I think this is fair. And by the way, still half the price of that monster over there.
I'm still rooting for the BMW, but I'm gonna give you a chance to redeem yourself.
Hey, I got good news for you. This is basically a BMW too. BMW wins.
Yeah, we do. We do have 2 BMWs and a Subaru, don't we?
Exactly. Supposedly 2 Toyotas, but
Under the hood is, of course, a BMW 3-liter turbo that puts out 335 horsepower and 365 pound-foot of torque. You can tell it's a BMW because, well, there are a lot of BMW signs, and by the fact that, of course, it's not built in Japan, but in Graz, Austria. Now, all this power comes with 3,400 pounds of weight, not too bad, paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission.
And then looking at the tire package, well, it doesn't really get any better for a road car because we've got Michelin Pilot Super Sports on here on 19-inch rims, and they're 255s on the front and a staggered setup with 275s on the rear. So it really does kind of point to the real performance intent of this vehicle. Hopefully it lives up to that promise.
We're here in Fountain, Colorado at Pikes Peak International Raceway at ppir.com. Check them out for year-round driving programs and fun special events. So much has been written about that car, but my question, of course, is, does it perform as well as one would think when you combine a BMW and a Toyota into one car? How do you think you did? Did you beat the mighty BMW?
I think I saved face for all sports cars.
All right, there you go.
Yes, there we go.
3 seconds faster.
That's more like it. With a lot less horsepower.
Yeah, and a lot less cost.
A lot less weight, a lot less cost, a lot less rows of seats.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, again, when you look at pure driving experience, numbers don't always matter.
Yep.
And you know, you look at the horsepower and the 0 to 60 time of an SUV and you're like, wow, that's a performance vehicle. But that center of gravity and that weight is always going to limit not only how fast it is around a racetrack, but how confidence inspiring and fun it is too. You know, we just drove the 86 as well.
Yeah.
And the 86 is developed, you know, by obviously by Subaru and Toyota. To me, it's a better chassis than the BMW Toyota.
Paul, I gotta tell you, it's bittersweet. I'm bummed that the BMW lost, but I'm happy that the sports car won. So just in a couple words, describe each car, starting with the BMW.
Well, with the X7 is, I guess, physics defying.
Yep.
Those are my 2 words for that car.
All right. How about the 86?
Fun loving.
Okay. And 2 words for the Supra.
Surprisingly quick.
Yeah, there you go, guys. Paul with unusual brevity. And if you're wondering, this man is or was the Stig on Top Gear USA. So when he says 2 words, they mean a lot.
They don't let me say many ever, so it's nice to get to say something.
And last question, Paul. If it were your money, which would you get?
To be honest, my money, I'd get the 86.
Really?
Yeah, because it was, to me, the better chassis out of all the vehicles we drove here. It was the most fun to drive. Like I was about at the same speed through a 4th gear corner sliding in all 3 of the vehicles, and the 86 was the one that made me smile. The other 2 made me a little worried doing that.
So I couldn't afford the BMW, so that's right out. But I'd go for the Supra, dude. I mean, it's beautiful, it sounds fantastic, and you've proved that it's fast.
It's super fast. It's a cool car.
Well, there you have it, guys. In the battle of crossover versus sports car, the sports car is still king. As always, this is Roman.
And this is Paul.
Saying thanks for watching, and check out TFLcar.com for more news, views, and of course, racetrack battle reviews. See you guys next time. Ciao.